So it's April 20th. It's been snowing all day. It's still snowing. It's gonna get down in the 20s tonight. Alright, so we're gonna interrupt this video for a quick commercial break. Do you guys like my hat? If you don't, that's fine. But if you do and you'd like to have one, scroll down to the description. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. Scroll down to the description. We have a link to our Etsy shop where we have hats just like this, and also in a couple different colors, a couple different styles of hats. What else we got? T-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts, hoodies probably. Yeah, that's about it. So if you're interested in something like that, scroll down, check it out, buy something. That's all. Yep, so it's been snowing all day. The ground was actually white earlier. It was really coming down. It's warmed up enough that it kind of melted it off. But if the ground was cold, I bet we'd have got 3-4 inches out of this, because it was really coming down for a while. It's April 20th. This is not normal weather for our area. It is what it is. I don't know, nothing we can do about it. So full disclosure, I had a whole video filmed and just about edited, and I decided to scrap it because we were spraying. The audio was terrible because the cab and the sprayer is so loud. Really good machine, but the cab sucks. And then we were doing some shop work in here, and I just really struggle with making shop work interesting. All right, so now we're gonna take it off and turn it over and put it together the right way. So I just decided to scrap it. It is what it is. So I'm out here doing kind of an update video. I want to tell you guys what we got going on with this planter, and just tell you what we got going on as far as this spring. So we have since got this planter ready to go. The only thing we got to do is check tires. It's greased, it's hooked up, it's ready to go. We got to throw our starter tank on the tractor yet, but the planter itself is ready to go. We put a lot of work into it this year. We decided to replace our openers. That's the blade that cuts the trench to drop the seed into. We also replaced all the gauge wheel arms, and we replaced these mustaches. I'll show you one of those in a little bit. We drilled, reamed all these out and put these new bushing kits in. I talked about that in the last video. That's a pretty nice upgrade. It was a big job and a really not fun job. Nope. All right now, come on. Almost. There. That wasn't so bad. It basically took most of the slop out of our row units, and it should plant a lot better now. The gauge wheel arms and mustaches. Where is one? Here's a mustache. They call it that because it looks like a mustache. Here's a gauge wheel arm. This is basically what sets your depth. The gauge wheel arm rides up, it hits that mustache, and you can change the depth of it. What happens is it gets a hole worn into it right here where my thumb's at. You can take them off, flip them over, swap them side to side, and wear it on the other side, but these have already been swapped. So we had everything tore apart to change the openers. We just decided to do it while we had it apart. The labor was already there, and it wasn't that much more money, so we just did it. That's pretty much all we got going on with the planter. We got the field cultivator hooked up to the four-wheeler. We got a new set of sweeps for it, but these sweeps are they're in so-so shape. We might run them a little bit before we change them. It's got to get gone through and greased and checked over and all that yet, but it's pretty much ready to go. I'm gonna go over to this other shed, show you what we got going on with not the seed tender. I always say seed tender for some reason. The air seeder, not the seed tender. The seed tender is ready to go. The air seeder is not. So sometimes I like to just do these update videos, because if I try to tell you what's going on while I'm working, I'm just too busy working and I forget to tell you a bunch of things. So air seeder has pretty much not been touched since that last video where we worked on the air seeder. We got that wing done with new openers and maybe a couple on the main frame. We basically have 2/3 of it left to do. It's not a real tough job. Shouldn't take us much longer. We should be able to get that done. Once we get that done, this will be ready to go plant beans. We got everything set up to run it on the 8400 now. The only thing I'm having an issue with is we think we have a bad radar, and the monitor needs to have some sort of speed input so it knows your population. So it compares the flow coming out of the seed tubes to your speed to calculate a population to tell you kind of what you're doing as you go through the field. And it's not pulling speed in off that radar. We think we have a radar issue, so we got a harness that will pull in speed from the GPS receiver. I got that at my house. I got to throw that on here yet, and that'll be ready to go. I got to hook up my hydraulic hoses yet, check tires, grease it, and it'll be ready to go. We also had a Deere mechanic come out and work on our hydraulic banks. This #1 remote, it had an issue where whatever you had hooked into it, it was bypassing and it would seep down, and we just couldn't have that. So he came out and rebuilt that. We got that working. That's everything on that unit. Another thing that we got that I'm pretty excited about is Dad and I just bought a set of floater tires for this sprayer. We've always only had these 14.9s. They're skinny row crop tires. That's pretty standard on a row gator. And we've always wanted to get a set of floaters for it. So we got a set of 650s. They're, you know, this wide, roughly. They're bigger tires. We struggle spraying our strip-tilled ground with these skinny tires because the strip is so soft. The sprayer fights with the auto steer and the tires, and it just kind of throws you side to side. So we bought a set of floaters. I'm not sure if we're going to put them on at this point because we're pretty much done spraying our strip-tilled ground. The only advantage we would have is the ground that we don't strip-till, corn, we spray after it's planted. So those floaters would distribute the weight better, whereas if you run an auto steer, this auto steer system is not good enough to drive in between the rows. It's not like RTK or anything, and you're going so fast it can't keep up. You'll end up driving over some of the corn rows with these skinny tires, and that will just kind of mash it down, and then sometimes the corn has a hard time coming up. But as dry as it's been, we don't know if it's really going to be an issue this year. So we don't know if we want to go through all the work to put them on, but I'm glad we got them. We got a good deal on them. We decided to just go for it. So we got a set of floater tires. This thing's going to be pretty awesome with floaters. Update on the 1206. You don't really need an update. It's just a really cool tractor. I thought you guys might want to see it. So there it is. We got all of our seed in. These are all soybeans over here. Corn's over on that side of the shed. Oh, I talked about putting a hitch on the back of the air seeder. Still have not gotten that done yet, but we're thinking about it. It would be handy to be able to hook our bean wagon up to the back of this and just go to the field and not have to worry about it. We're also talking about putting a tarp on the bean wagon in case you get caught out in the rain. You don't have to worry about all your beans getting wet, because that would be a disaster. So we just got a lot in the works. Here's one of our strip-tilled fields here at Grandpa's house. It's gotten its burn down sprayed on it, so this chickweed is dying and starting to brown up the field a little bit, so it's not so green and ugly. We were really dry going into this snow event. It was almost kind of scary how dry we were. They always say plant in the dust, the bins will bust, and the last time that happened, that proved to be true. We had a really good year and really good yields. So that's kind of what we were hoping for now. Now it's a little soggy out here. It's supposed to snow kind of through the night. More chances of rain, which is fine. We really need it. We were kind of hoping to get started planting towards the end of the week or next week. So we're just kind of waiting it out, seeing what happens. Thankfully, we've had plenty of time to get things ready because we're not ready yet. We're always just kind of, I don't know, seems like we're never ahead of the game, but you know, we always manage. We're ready for planting corn. Beans will be ready pretty quick. So for corn, you pretty much want your soil temperature to be 50 degrees or better. Soybeans, they can handle a little bit colder temps. There's actually quite a few people have done early beans this year. I know my uncles put some in, and they're normally not the type to do the early beans. They like to do them later, but a lot of people have been trying them. We didn't get any in. I don't know, we're not ready to try that yet, so we're still waiting. So like I said, 50 degrees for corn. It's supposed to get down in the 20s tonight. I don't know how I really don't even know how warm the ground got because I never stuck a thermometer in the ground, and it's been relatively cold for late April. It should be warmer than it is. And now it's gonna get down in the 20s. I don't know what that's gonna do for soil temperature, but it can't be good. So I'm really glad that all of our corn is still in the shed, in the box, and we'll get to it when we get to it. Well, there you have it. There's an update on our farm, what we got going on. I didn't get a whole lot of shop videos, just like I said, I really struggle with making that interesting. It's something I really want to work on and get better at, because I feel like that's the part of farming that people don't see. They see the big fancy tractors out in the field just going back and forth with auto steer. They think we don't do anything, but a lot of farmers put a lot of work and a lot of pride into their equipment. We run some older equipment and we like to keep it up. You know, we feel like our money is better used buying something that needs a little bit of work and putting the time and the effort into it and making it something good. So that's the kind of stuff I like to show, but it's really hard to make it interesting sometimes, and I apologize for that. But anyways, I'm gonna leave you guys here because I'm cold. We're hoping that next video we'll be doing something in the field. We're all itching to go. Dad's ready, I'm ready, the corn planter's ready. It's time to plant corn. Hopefully it warms up, because we don't want to be replanting a whole bunch of corn like we did last year. That's one great thing about farming. Every year you get a chance to start over and be hopeful for things to come, hope for better yields, better prices. Right now we got pretty good looking prices. If we can get some decent yields, we should have a pretty good year. So that being said, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.